All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at anatomical terminology.
Ooh, fun.
I know, right? You got to know this stuff. It's kind of the foundation.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the bedrock.
It's the bedrock. You can't build a house without a good foundation, and anatomy is the foundation of medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're going to try to do a little more than just, you know,
Just the facts.
yeah, just the facts. We want to know why we need to know this stuff too, right?
Absolutely, because when you understand the why, it helps you remember and apply that knowledge.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. Something that I always found a little weird, starting out, was the standard anatomical position.
Right.
Like, why are we imagining everyone standing up, straight arms at their sides, palms forward? Like, who stands like that?
Yeah, it's not exactly natural, is it? But think about it like having a universal reference point.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if your patient is lying down, sitting up, doing a handstand. We always describe their anatomy based on this standard position.
Okay, so it's like no matter what crazy position they're in, we're pretending they're standing at attention.
Exactly. It's like having a shared map, even if everyone's taking a different route.
I like it. Okay, so that makes sense for the standard anatomical position. But then we got all these crazy directional terms like
Oh, yeah.
anterior, posterior, distal, proximal, medial, lateral, superior, inferior. It's a lot to keep straight.
It is, but think of them as pairs of opposites.
Okay, like north, south, east, west.
Exactly. So anterior means towards the front of the body, while posterior means towards the back.
So anterior, front, posterior, back. I got.
You're getting it already.
But what about like distal and proximal? Those always trip me up.
Okay, for distal and proximal, imagine a limb, like your arm distal, means further away from the point of attachment to the body. Proximal means closer to that point.
So my hand is distal to my elbow.
Exactly. And your elbow is proximal to your wrist.
Okay, so if I had a distal radius fracture, that means the break is further down my arm away from my elbow.
You got it.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
Okay.
What about medial and lateral?
All right, medial means closer to the midline of the body, and lateral means further away towards the sides.
Okay, so if I'm imagining that line down the center of my body, my nose is medial
Right.
and my ears are lateral.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get this anatomical compass down.
Great. Now let's take this 3D map and slice it up to see the body's internal structures. That's where body planes come in.
Ooh, yeah, I've seen those diagrams in textbooks.
Exactly. We have three main planes, coronal, sagittal, and transverse. The coronal plane divides the body into front and back sections, like slicing a loaf of bread lengthwise.
Okay, so coronal is front and back.
You got it. Now imagine slicing that loaf of bread straight down the middle. That's the sagittal plane dividing the body into right and left halves.
Sagittal, right and left, got it.
And finally, we have the transverse plane, which divides the body into upper and lower sections, like slicing that bread horizontally to make a sandwich.
All right, so coronal, front and back, sagittal, right and left, transverse, upper and lower. I'm starting to feel less like I'm memorizing and more like I'm building a 3D model of the body in my mind.
That's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
And just like a complex model, the body is organized into different regions.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know it seems like a lot, but don't worry, we'll break it down.
Okay, so we're talking about like the head, the neck, the chest, the abdomen.
Exactly. Those are the major ones, the big neighborhoods of the body. Then within each region, you have smaller, more specific areas.
So it's like zooming in on a map.
Precisely. You start with the big picture, like the head, and then you can zoom in to see the different neighborhoods within that region.
Okay, and all those regions contain specific organs and structures.
Exactly. And those organs are often housed within body cavities.
Right, like the brain is in the cranial cavity.
Exactly. And the heart and lungs are in the thoracic cavity.
So if the regions are like the neighborhoods or the cavities, like the houses.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay, so we got cranial, thoracic, what else?
Abdominal, pelvic, and vertebral.
Okay, so cranial obviously houses the brain. Thoracic has the heart and lungs. Abdominal, I'm guessing, is like stomach, liver, intestines.
You got it. And the pelvic cavity contains the bladder, rectum, and reproductive organs.
In the vertebral cavity.
That one runs along the back and contains the spinal cord, providing a bony protective casing.
Okay, cool. So we've got all these cavities protecting our organs, but what keeps them from rubbing against each other and causing friction?
That's where body membranes come in.
Okay, vaguely remember those from bio class.
Well, there are two main types we should focus on: mucous membranes and serous membranes.
Okay, so mucous membranes, I always think of like snot.
Well, mucus isn't always a bad thing. It actually serves a really important purpose.
Okay.
Mucous membranes line cavities that open to the outside world, like your digestive, respiratory, and reproductive tracts.
Okay.
They secrete mucus, which helps trap foreign particles, keeps tissues from drying out, and even has antibacterial properties.
So mucus is actually our friend.
It is. Now, serous membranes are a bit different. They line the closed body cavities that don't open to the exterior, like the thoracic and abdominopelvic cavities.
Okay.
They secrete a thin, watery fluid called serous fluid that acts as a lubricant, allowing organs to move freely without friction.
So that's why my lungs don't stick to my ribs when I breathe.
Exactly. It's a fascinating system that keeps everything running smoothly.
So we've got these membranes helping to protect and lubricate our organs. But how do all these structures actually work together to keep us alive? I'm guessing that's where body systems come in.
You're exactly right. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore these incredible body systems and how they work together to keep us alive and kick in the mole. Stay tuned.
Yeah, sounds good. Welcome back. All right, so we've laid the groundwork with anatomical terms now. Let's see how all those structures work together in those amazing complex systems that keep us alive.
It's like we've learned the individual instruments of an orchestra. Now we're ready to hear them play together as a symphony. Each body system, a team of specialized organs, each with its own role, but working in concert to achieve a common goal.
Okay, I love that analogy. So let's start with a system we all interact with every moment. The respiratory system. What's the main job of this team?
The respiratory system is all about keeping us oxygenated and removing carbon dioxide. Think of it as the body's gas exchange system.
Right, kind of like our own internal combustion engine, fueling ourselves with oxygen and getting rid of the exhaust. So who are the key players on this team?
Well, the lungs are the stars of the show. Those amazing spongy organs where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide actually takes place between the air and the bloodstream.
And we know from our earlier discussion about body cavities that the lungs are nestled within the thoracic cavity protected by the rib cage and those slippery pleural membranes we talked about.
Exactly. But the respiratory system isn't just about the lungs. It also includes the airways, that intricate network of tubes that transport air to and from the lungs.
Okay, so we're talking about the nose pharynx, larynx, trachea bronchi. It's like a complex plumbing system directing airflow.
Precisely. And we can't forget about the diaphragm, that powerful dome-shaped muscle below the lungs that helps us draw air in and push it out.
Right, the diaphragm is like the bellows that keeps the whole system pumping. It's fascinating how all these different structures, from tiny air sacs to large muscles, work together to keep us breathing without even thinking about it.
It really is. Now let's move on to another vital system, one that's always on the move. The circulatory system, also known as the cardiovascular system.
Okay, so if the respiratory system is all about gas exchange, what's the primary role of the circulatory system?
Think of the circulatory system as the body's intricate highway system. Its main job is to deliver oxygen and nutrients to every cell in the body and to remove waste products.
And the heart is the engine that powers this system, constantly pumping blood through those highways to reach every destination.
That's right. And we know from our discussion of cavities that the heart is protected within the pericardial cavity in the chest. But the heart doesn't work alone. It needs those roads, the blood vessels, to transport its precious cargo.
Right, we've got arteries, veins, and capillaries. I always get them mixed up. Can you refresh my memory on which ones do what?
Absolutely. Arteries are like the expressways carrying oxygen-rich blood away from the heart to the rest of the body. Veins are like the return routes carrying oxygen-poor blood back to the heart. And capillaries are the tiny local roads that connect arteries and veins where the actual exchange of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products takes place.
So it's like a bustling city with traffic flowing in and out, deliveries being made, and waste being removed, all orchestrated by the heart and its network of blood vessels.
That's a great analogy. Now, let's shift gears to a system that's all about breaking things down, the digestive system.
Okay, so this system is responsible for turning all that food we eat into fuel that our cells can actually use.
Exactly. The digestive system is like a disassembly line, breaking down food into its basic components, nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that can be absorbed and used by the body.
So where does this disassembly line begin?
The journey starts in the oral cavity, where teeth mechanically break down food, and saliva begins the chemical breakdown process.
Right, chewing is the first step in that disassembly, and then that chewed up food travels down the esophagus, that muscular tube that connects the mouth to the stomach.
Exactly. Think of the esophagus as the conveyor belt transporting food to the next station. The stomach, in the stomach, food gets mixed with gastric juices, those powerful acids and enzymes that break it down further.
It's like a churning vat. breaking down those larger food molecules into smaller, more manageable pieces. And then what happens?
Then it's on to the small intestine where the real magic happens. The small intestine is like a winding labyrinth where those partially digested food molecules get broken down even further and the nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream.
So if the stomach is the turning vat, the small intestine is the nutrient extraction plant. And what about the stuff that doesn't get absorbed?
Well, any remaining waste material travels onto the large intestine where water is absorbed and the waste products are compacted into, well,
The large intestine is kind of like the recycling plant and waste disposal unit, making sure we get the most out of our food and efficiently dispose of the rest. It's amazing how this entire system works in perfect harmony from the moment we take a bite to, well, the final product.
It is, and it highlights how interconnected these systems are. The digestive system breaks down food, the circulatory system transports those nutrients, and the respiratory system provides the oxygen needed for all these
It's
processes.
like a perfectly choreographed dance. Now, speaking of choreography, what about the system that's in charge of all the communication and coordination within the body? The nervous system.
The nervous system, think of it as the body's high-speed internet network, constantly transmitting information between the brain, the spinal cord, and every other part of the body.
So it's like the control center, making sure everything runs smoothly and responding to changes in our internal and external environment.
Exactly. And at the heart of this control center is the brain, that incredible organ housed within the protective cranial cavity.
Right. The brain is the CEO making all the executive decisions, processing information and sending out commands, but it doesn't work alone, right?
Of course not. The spinal cord running down the vertebral cavity acts like the main fiber optic cable, relaying messages between the brain and the rest of the body. And branching out from the brain and spinal cord are those countless nerves, like the wires, carrying those messages to every muscle organ and sensory receptor.
So we have sensory nerves carrying information from the body to the brain, things like touch temperature pain, and motor nerves carrying instructions from the brain back to the muscles, telling them to move. It's an incredible two-way communication system.
It is, imagine trying to coordinate all the complex movements involved in walking, talking, eating without this intricate network of communication.
We'd be like robots with faulty wiring. Okay, let's move on to a system that's all about structure and movement. The musculoskeletal system.
The musculoskeletal system is what gives us our shape, allows us to move, and protects our internal organs. Think of it as the framework and the engine that powers all our physical activities.
So we're talking about bones, muscles, joints, tendons, and ligaments all working together.
Exactly. Bones provide the rigid framework, like the steel beams of a buildinger. Muscles provide the power for movement, contracting and relaxing, to pull on bones and create motion. And joints are the hinges that allow for flexibility and range of motion.
And tendons connect muscles to bones, while ligaments connect bones to other bones, providing stability and support.
You got to think about all the intricate movements you make throughout the day. Walking, running, typing, writing, even just breathing. All of these actions involve the coordinated efforts of the musculoskeletal system.
It's like a perfectly engineered system of levers, pulleys, and hinges, allowing us to navigate the world and interact with our surroundings.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to a system that's often overlooked, but is absolutely essential for maintaining a healthy internal environment, the lymphatic system.
Okay, I'll admit this one's a bit of a mystery to me. What's the lymphatic system all about?
Think of the lymphatic system as the body's cleanup crew and immune defense force working behind the scenes to keep things clean and protect us from invaders.
Cleanup crew and immune defense. That sounds pretty important. Tell me more.
Our bodies are constantly producing fluids as part of various processes. The lymphatic system helps collect excess fluids and waste products from tissues and return them to the bloodstream. It's like a drainage system, making sure things don't get clogged up.
So it's like a network of tiny pipes and filters keeping things flowing smoothly.
Exactly. And along those pipes are lymph nodes, those small bean-shaped organs that act like checkpoints. They filter the lymph fluid, trapping and destroying harmful pathogens like bacteria and viruses.
Ah, so the lymph nodes are like the security guards, checking IDs and stopping anything suspicious from entering the bloodstream.
That's a great way to think about it. And we can't forget about the other lymphatic organs like the spleen, thymus, and tonsils. They all play a role in filtering, cleansing, and defending the body.
It's amazing how this entire system works tirelessly behind the scenes to keep us healthy.
It truly is. Now, let's move on to a system that's all about communication, but using a different language than the nervous system, the endocrine system.
Okay, so if the nervous system is like the internet sending rapid-fire electrical signals, what's the endocrine system like?
Think of the endocrine system as the body's postal service. It uses hormones, which are chemical messengers that travel through the bloodstream, to target specific cells and organs, delivering instructions that regulate a wide range of bodily functions.
So hormones are like those little envelopes carrying messages to different addresses throughout the body. What kind of messages are we talking about?
Oh, all sorts of hormones regulate everything from growth and development to metabolism, mood, sleep, reproduction, you name it.
Wow, hormones are powerful little messengers. Where do they come from?
Hormones are produced by various glands located throughout the body, including the pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal glands, pancreas, ovaries in females, and testes in males.
So each gland is like a post office, specializing in producing and sending out specific types of hormones.
Exactly. And just like the Postal Service, the endocrine system ensures those messages get delivered to the right destinations, triggering specific responses in target cells and organs.
It's fascinating how these chemical messengers can have such profound effects on our bodies.
It really is, and it highlights the importance of understanding how these systems interact. For example, hormones from the endocrine system can influence the nervous system, and vice versa.
It's all interconnected. Okay, let's wrap up our tour of body systems with one that's essential for the continuation of our species, the reproductive system.
Yes, the reproductive system. This system is all about ensuring the survival of the species. It's responsible for producing, storing, and transporting the cells that are necessary for creating new life.
So we're talking about sperm in males and eggs in females. And the male and female reproductive systems are obviously quite different, right?
They are in males. The primary reproductive organs are the testes, which produce sperm, and the penis, which delivers sperm during intercourse in females. The primary reproductive organs are the ovaries, which produce eggs, and the uterus, which provides a nurturing environment for a developing fetus.
And both systems are carefully orchestrated by hormones, ensuring the timing is right for fertilization and pregnancy.
Exactly. The reproductive system is a complex and fascinating subject, and we could spend a whole deep dive exploring its intricacies. But for now, just appreciate the incredible biological symphony that allows for the creation of new life.
Absolutely. Wow. We've covered so much ground in this whirlwind tour of body systems. It's truly mind-blowing how all these systems work together, each with its own specialized role, yet all interconnected and interdependent.
It's like a perfectly choreographed dance with each system playing its part to keep the music going, the body functioning, and life thriving.
All right, welcome back. So we've gone through all this anatomy stuff, right? From the basics to all these complex systems.
Yeah, it's like we've built this whole model of the body now.
Exactly. But, I mean, we're not just doing this for fun, right? Like, how are future doctors going to actually use this stuff?
Well, think about it. You're in the ER. A patient comes in with severe abdominal pain.
Oh, man.
Your knowledge of anatomical regions helps you pinpoint the exact location of the pain.
Right. So, like, if it's in the epigastric region, that might mean it's something with the stomach.
Exactly. Or if it's lower down on the right side in the iliac region, that could be appendicitis.
So knowing those regions and what organs are there helps us figure out what's wrong.
Exactly. And then your understanding of body systems helps you connect the dots even further.
Okay.
Like, say the patient also has a fever and their white blood cell count is high. That could mean infection, right? And your knowledge of the immune system, how it fights off those invaders, helps you make sense of it all.
Wow. So it's like putting all those pieces together.
It is. And think about surgeries. Surgeons rely on their anatomical knowledge all the time.
Oh, yeah, to make sure they don't cut the wrong thing.
Exactly. They need to know where all the blood vessels, nerves, organs are so they can operate safely.
I can only imagine, especially with those laparoscopic surgeries where everything's so tiny.
Oh, yeah. They need to have like a perfect 3D map of the body in their head.
Exactly.
Even something as simple as giving an injection, you need anatomical knowledge for that.
Oh, yeah, like where to stick the needle.
Exactly. You need to know the landmarks, the injection sites.
So you don't hit a nerve or something.
Right. So as you can see, anatomy is everywhere in medicine.
Yeah, it's not just memorizing terms. It's like the foundation for everything.
It is. And this is just the beginning.
Right.
You'll keep learning more and more as you go.
It's a lot, but it's pretty amazing stuff.
It is. The human body is an incredible machine.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a great deep dive.
I agree.
Hopefully everyone listening feels a little more confident in their anatomical knowledge now.
And remember, don't just memorize, try to understand the concepts and how everything connects.
Exactly, and always keep learning. All right, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll see